Greetings, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn. He's thick.
You're tuned into the False Grace podcast. I'm your host, AK Baby Do the Lightbringer.
And I am the Furman.
Oh, drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch. Oh, drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch.
Drink.
Oh, drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch.
Water.
Oh, drink water, drink
Water.
drink water, bitch. Brush your teeth every day. Oh, don't play too many games. Oh, only 3 hours a day. Oh, respect your parents. Okay. Oh, love your mom, love your dad. Always say please and thank you. Oh, you can say words like fucking shit's about coming to your house and spank you.
Put a little twist on it.
Now that we've gotten our required vulgarities out of the way, this is day 92 of trying to be more popular than boobs and booty.
Good Lord, that climb just gets more climbier.
We haven't hit the exponential growth curve yet, but we're on our way.
Well, once they lift that shadow ban on us for, saying that thing about Boeing.
Yeah. Speaking of being more popular than boobs and booty, I might have referenced this in an older episode, but I'd like to go into the nitty gritty of this tonight. America suffered a tragic loss a couple weeks back.
But Fauci didn't get expedited, so...
There's a gentleman, he's being dubbed a goon lord, who committed, at least to my knowledge, America's first true goonicide.
Fucking...
That's what it's been dubbed on Twitter.
The Goon Lord Supreme has fallen.
Yes, he committed a true goonicide. So, to give you the context of this story, what happened is there was a man who went to a drive-thru, and it wasn't like any normal drive-thru. There's a place, I believe it's something to do with coffee and bikinis. It's like coffee and bikinis drive-thru, and the premise is you go and you order coffee, and it's like pretty girls, hot girls in bikinis making the coffee.
Super unsafe work environment, but go on.
It's like a Hooters, a drive-thru Hooters with coffee.
Oh, as you do.
So part of the experience is, the viewing pleasure. So I'm assuming for the girls' sake, they all have cameras on them, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
And so a guy pulls up through the drive-thru, and the lady approaches the car to take the order, because it's like a Hooters scenario. So they're come to the cars, so you can get the full view.
Oh, sorry. Here, you want some cream with that?
So as she's approaching the car, he's smiling, he seems happy, the window's rolling down, and she quickly realizes this man has no pants on.
Occasionally you leave the house a little fast, fucking...
And you hear her voice and tone immediately change to, "Sir, you can't do that, you have to leave." And he goes from smiling to instantly sour face, angry, and pulls out of the parking lot. Just burns rubber out of the parking lot in fury.
I wish I could be in his mind right now, because I want to know the thought process. It's like, you know what? These girls get sexually harassed every day. You know what would really help them? Seeing my penis.
Yep. So that video gets posted online by the lady who works there. It goes viral the same day, and later that night, he took his own life.
Well, yeah, he had to, for being that fucking stupid. That's the price.
I tend to not like extremely nihilistic humor, but this is one of the most hilarious stories to me. And they dubbed it the Goonicide. He committed a Goonicide. And for those at home who need the definition, that's basically when you're caught with your pants down, literally, and then you end your own life afterwards. It's like shame on on your family, commit seppuku.
Oh, so
It's an American version.
Semen puku. He busted that nut and he was like, you know what? That's as far as I'm ever gonna get. Oh god, I gotta see a clip of that. I gotta hear the voice.
Man, our chat, I don't know if it's working or not.
Hit us up, let us know. Put something in there. A couple of vowels, consonants, words, adjectives, nouns.
If you're in the chat, say hello. But anywho, that happened. Very tragic. Funny story, what have you.
Tragic, hilarious.
I thought that was the end of the story. Like, that was the end. Everybody knew, yada, yada. He gained such a following for committing a Goonicide that they actually held a community vigil at that restaurant in his honor. They called it a Gooneral.
Okay, so question: do you think they just like all circle jerked outside the restaurant? You know, in solidarity.
Well, apparently it only took 30 minutes before the police shut it down. They shut down the Gooneral. And there's literally like people who made signs at the Gooneral.
Get the fuck out of my face! No way.
Yeah. And yeah, this was the vigil right here.
All right, everybody, we're getting visual confirmation. Jeez, yep, it's all teenage boys. God damn.
And they actually impounded his car, and they've dubbed it the Goon Mobile.
Yeah,
and it's going to be auctioned off.
I can hear fucking Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos having a fucking bidding war over this shit.
So yeah, rest in peace,
fucking
Goon Lord. And one of a darker turn to the story is they found out that this man did in fact have a wife and kids.
Oh my god, dude. This is like finding out the guy that saved that kid from a burning building is also a child molester.
So yeah.
Like
The Goonicide.
Jesus God. We are bored as a society.
Crazy times, man. Crazy times we're living in.
No, that's fucking insane. Like,
Yeah.
I can't fucking...
It happens. Hey, we're up to 7 viewers. If you're just tuning in, leave us a chat. We haven't seen any chats tonight. I'm a little worried we've hit one of those nights where our tech has went haywire. We've lost all feed.
I told you not to trip our Jamie.
But yeah, wife and kids goes down as a Goon Lord.
I'm wondering, are we going to get the 4 Goonmen of the apocalypse? And this is the first volley. I wonder what the next one's going to be. He's just sitting on top of a building, about to just like end it. He just goes, busts one out, hits a lady, and then hits the ground.
Well, I used to co-own a meme page on Instagram with another gentleman known as Bust Lord. He was actually a legend in the community.
You might be next, Bust Lord.
But the difference between a Gooner and a Goon Lord and a Bust Lord is a Bust Lord has total edge control. Like,
we're gonna get canceled for this. His family's gonna call us out.
I mean, that is what makes you a Bust Lord, because you decide.
I think it's, you know, Bust Lord probably has seen a female that he didn't just drop trout for. Like, I mean, I understand, like, playing a little pocket pool while you're waiting or some crap like that. Like, I get that. I mean, I don't approve of it, but I get it. But, like, to just walk out of your house, keys between your butt cheeks, wallet in hand.
So, speaking of seeing a woman you don't drop trowel for, there's another story that's trending. And this one, rather than stoking my humorous side, has kind of pissed me off. And the jokes kind of write themselves. But, you know, there's like a lot of fat rappers, right?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fat rappers.
Jelly Roll, Pigskin.
Rick Ross. There's one guy now who's become a celebrity because he raps on a ventilator. He's like 800 pounds. He comes on stage on a couch on life support. I'm not making this up.
No, fucking.
Yeah. I don't know his name, but he performs on a couch with a ventilator.
Big Chunky, probably.
And
Lord
so
Chungus Among Us.
There's this female rapper. I'm gonna look up her name so people know.
But I think it might be Lizzo, guys. I think that he's just catching up with that one. But I'm gonna be real with you. Like, Lizzo's.
Yeah. So there's a female rapper named Dank Demos.
Oh,
this is what she looks like.
Dank D Moss sounds like a bad name for somebody to call your cooch.
Yeah. So Dank Demos is suing Lyft for discrimination. So what happened is she decided to order a ride to get around the city.
And they didn't bring, a trailer, so.
Yeah. Somebody shows up in an older, I want to say it's like a Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, a small, car. And the driver refuses to service her. He says, ma'am, my car can't handle that weight, or you can't fit in my car.
Like, I'm not going to remove my passenger seat so that way you can sit down. Like, that's not how it's going to happen. I'll tie you to the hood.
And so this woman, who's over 400 pounds, probably over 500 pounds, decides she's going to sue Lyft for discrimination. So she posts this story on her Instagram. And this is the first part that pisses me off. Is Lyft replied to her, please contact us as soon as possible. We want to apologize. So they start with an apology for the absolutely unacceptable behavior of our driver. Contact us and let's make this right.
I would have been like, you should have ordered Lyft XL. All right, that's just...
The main joke that you see is she ordered a Lyft, not a forklift.
Oh, damn.
But she's actually suing this company for discrimination, and she'll probably lose. But this is why we can't have nice things anymore. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, Lyft, get it together.
When you have to accommodate the outliers, everything gets worse. You have to accommodate these people.
Oh, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, when we started letting pedophiles read to kids in schools, like, that's... I mean...
So, somebody in chat picking up on something we had said last episode. Where is the curling iron? Yes, we forgot to bring it. We will have a curling iron next week. He has no hair to curl anymore, but... Yeah,
the last time that we tried to curl our pubes on screen, we got shadow banned for like 2 weeks.
I will curl my hair next episode.
Yeah. And if you guys can bump us up, I will go ahead and get that maternity taser.
But yeah, so she's suing Lyft, and it's all over the news, and she's got a team of lawyers. And I'm like, for one, imagine being the lawyer on this case. Like, how much shame you must feel. And I'm assuming a lot of lawyers probably have lost the ability to feel shame.
Well, they have to. Like, the people that they're defending, when they're clearly...
This is her with her team. This is her and her lawyers, guys.
Dude, I hope her lawyers work as hard as those pants are right now.
I'm not sure those are pants.
They might have painted them on.
But she captions this photo on Instagram. If I stand for nothing, I'll fall for everything. So she's taking a stand against discrimination.
This is our new Rosa Parks, everybody.
And here's what pisses me off about the story. You've got a guy who's probably living paycheck to paycheck, trying to earn a living in a rinky-dink Toyota, rinky-dink Honda, just getting by, just trying to pay the bills, just trying to live, make his life work out. And he had the misfortune of accepting a customer who weighed 500 pounds, couldn't fit in his car. And he goes, he probably wasn't even rude about it.
Like, just, hey, I can't really, like, physically, I can't. If you sit in the trunk and scrunch down a little bit, we can maybe make this work.
And he declines to service her. And now his own company, Lyft, is apologizing on his behalf. They're not standing by their dedicated worker. They're not standing by him.
Oh, it's kind of like when a Walmart employee like roundhouse kicks and like fucking a customer. It's like, I
cannot stand when the employer doesn't defend the employee. I cannot stand that shit. Customers come in and abuse the employees, and the company turns tail and like, oh, we're gonna help the customer. We're gonna accommodate fuck the customer. You take care of your employees. Take care of your people. They will take care of the customer.
And that's why I love Waffle House. Dude, there's been so many gang wars in those, and they're like...
And you keep your job.
Yeah, it's like, hey, look, he came in on your shift. He knew that you fucking worked here, so...
Look, as long as the court cases don't get in the way of your scheduling, you've got a job at Waffle House.
Fucking A. Look, you just pistol whipped one customer. Calm down.
And so I'm praying that this lady not only loses, but gets countersued for damages. I'm praying they ruin her.
well,
I'm praying they end her with this lawsuit because she deserves it. She is preying on an innocent company and an innocent man.
man, they almost could have got her for damages if she actually got in the car.
Sued for the suspension repair bill.
For all 4 tires popping at the same time. Or you know, like how, like whenever you kill like a cockroach, just like rolls onto its back, the whole camera just fucking.
Yeah, it's sick, man. We're a litigious nation now. So many frivolous lawsuits.
Yeah, but you know what the best part about frivolous lawsuits in America is?
What?
They're in America.
Mm-hmm. American made.
Exactly.
American made law.
Fuck it. If you're mad about it, we can talk about it.
The barrier of entry to lawsuits should be much higher. It shouldn't be so easy, genuinely. And I know you're going, well, a lot of people don't have money, and well, then how are they going to afford the lawsuits? 90% of lawsuits shouldn't exist.
I mean, unless you're going up against somebody that's really done wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you remember those like with Boeing right now?
Yeah.
You know those astronauts are still in fucking space.
So one of our first episodes, guys, one of the first topics we covered was how Boeing collaborated with NASA on some new space venture, a new starship, what have you, and they sent 2 astronauts to the space station in it. It barely made it. It barely made it there. It was leaking fuel. It was losing components on the way up. So it's a miracle they even made it. When they docked, it was deemed an unusable ship from that point forward. And they've been up there ever since. And what's happened was they were going to get them out in like a month. It got postponed to the next month. They said, we're going to get you out in 2 months. It got postponed again.
Yeah, we've been doing this show for like 6 months now.
There's been like 6 ETAs on when these guys are coming home from Boeing and NASA. No word. I mean, I've forgotten about the story. Completely forgotten that these guys are still up there. And the other day, Trump tweets out, I've contacted Elon and asked him to rescue the 2 astronauts who have been practically abandoned by the Biden administration and Boeing, which he didn't mention, but practically abandoned by humankind. The human race has abandoned these 2 astronauts.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of being in a sunken ship and just breathing the farts and fucking trying to survive.
Yeah, so Elon, I don't believe has gotten them yet. Somebody's saying Elon went and got them, didn't he? Let's see.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure what ended up happening is like Boeing, their CEO was just sitting in the operations room, like watching them real time, just like kiss, guys. Just come on, Jerry, I got you up there. Susan, you're still there. Come on, honey, you're holding out on us.
Yeah. So here's these 3 headlines, and I want to speak to cynicism in a way. So they are still currently up there. He hasn't gotten them yet. The top 3 headlines, and these headlines are all less than a day old, or 1 day old. Here's one. Elon Musk says SpaceX will rescue 2 stranded astronauts. Here's why that's confusing. CNN. Cynical. Okay, next one. Why did Elon Musk say Trump wants to bring 2 stranded astronauts home? ? These people don't even know who these astronauts are.
Those guys up there, what with the stars and all that.
NPR says Trump asked SpaceX to go get 2 stranded astronauts. They're not stranded.
So not being able to leave and basically being in isolation.
Any press that can be negative, they're gonna spin it.
Oh my!
He wants to take 2 astronauts home. Here's why that's bad. Here's why that's a moral evil.
Dude, I guarantee you with like the deep fake technology that's coming out, they're going to have like pictures of the astronauts full in suits, like kicking puppies and shit.
Yeah.
These people deserve to be up there.
So I have a concern on how this is going to play out. Because here's what I'm worried. Elon is a opportunist in many ways. I mean, you'd have to agree with that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So here's a prediction: may come true, may not. But we know that Elon Musk's Starship, which has been his attempt at doing a reusable rocket ship,
oh, you mean the bomb?
the one he caught, on the podium, he caught like 2 of those ships. Yeah, so there's never been like a manned Starship yet. There's never been like a manned operation on a reusable rocket. So if the reusable rocket doesn't make it, they just let it crash in the ocean. Nobody's there. No deaths. You're good to go.
Yeah.
I have a prediction that Elon is going to try and leverage this mission and man the first reusable rocket rescue mission.
I would fucking die. If he pulled that off, he could buy NASA. You know how fucking embarrassed you'd be? That'd be like if Coke came out and was like, you know what, guys, we can't improve on the soda, and somebody like makes hyper water or some shit like that.
Hey, 10 viewers. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like. We'll talk with you. Remember, tonight we're covering from Gucci to Goonicide. 11 viewers now.
Woo!
It's a Goonicide kind of night.
Give
But
us those views.
yeah, I'm thinking, what if Elon positions this as the first reusable rocket rescue mission? If he pulls it off, it's a major success. But if he doesn't, if this mission fails, I think this will be the immediate rift between Trump and Elon.
Oh yeah, dude, that's some bad press.
Because Trump has hyped Elon up next level. Like, Trump is like, Rocket Man. I called up Elon. I said, did you land that rocket? Was that you? And Elon said, yeah, that was me. And I said, only Elon.
Elon. Wait, sorry, Elon.
And so, like, if he fails this mission after Trump tweeted, rescue these guys, it's going to be the worst press for both of them
that's ever come out.
It's going to be nasty press. And I'm telling you, Trump's going to call Elon and be like, we're done. We're done.
Elon, it was a good run. It was a great run, even. It was an excellent run.
So we got somebody quoted in the chat. Adley Studio says, in 2024, NASA astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Sunita Suni Williams were scheduled for an 8-day mission aboard Boeing Starliner spacecraft. Yeah, 8 days. But apparently they're not stranded. 8 days, half a year.
Same difference.
What's
really.
the difference?
I mean,
so there's another headline, because they can do telecommunicating up there.
Yeah.
So somehow, you guys can look this story up too. The woman aboard the space station did a video call to a school, and in the video call, she mentioned to the kids, she's worried that when she gets back home, she will no longer know how to walk.
Well, I mean, when a man loves a woman in space.
Chat, do you think these astronauts are having sex in space?
Either that
they're older, but hey, you're in space. People do crazy things.
They do crazy shit in Vegas, and that's God's butthole.
You go out of state and things get crazy. You go on a boat, things get crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Boats, things happen on boats.
Hose.
Imagine you go from a boat to a fucking spaceship.
It's either going to look like a snow globe, or you're coming back with the first star baby. We could call him the Star Lord.
Speaking of that, what is that phenomenon of sex and random and the most rare vehicles? Like, having sex in a car, and then there's having sex in boats. It's like, and then there's having sex on a plane. That's like a step up.
I don't get that. I mean, I understand like some of it, but like if somebody fucked in my Lamborghini, I'd be so pissed. I'd be too worried about the splatter.
And so like, it's like, as a human race, we're like, oh, we're in a rare instrument of movement. You know what we got to do in that?
Dude,
Get to fucking.
Oh, dude, people fucking all the weirdest places and doing the weirdest shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've seen people fucking while free falling. I don't have the presence of mind to keep it going after like so many feet. I'd be like, all right, we gotta go.
I think it's because it feels kind of like all the rules are gone. Like it's uninhibited. Like when you're on a boat and you're far enough out to sea, the captain is like the legal god, like legal authority of the land.
He can marry you. He can kick you off the boat if he's got a good enough crew.
And so like when you get far enough away in an open space, it's like all bets are off. All civilized, reality just sheds away, and you're just left with the primal.
Oh, dude, it's kind of like I actually watched a video on this a little while ago. You know how long a cruise liner will wait when somebody falls overboard?
How long?
30 minutes.
The show must go on.
Seriously, it's like, everybody don't look off the left side of the boat. All right, guys, cut your cigarette breaks. Let's go. Let's move.
Dude, there was a tragic story a few months back where there was like a teenager who jumped off a cruise ship and they never found him.
Yeah, the 30 minutes were up.
Yeah, they never found him. So he died. That's sad. I mean, but he shouldn't have been jumping off the boat. He was doing like parkour and shit.
Nah, that's like finding out that somebody that climbs those huge towers that do like that free hang. They're like, yeah. Like, I feel no sympathy.
That stuff is so crazy.
That's like,
I'd never do it.
That's like putting barbecue sauce in your ass cheeks and then running through a bear enclosure. That was your fucking fault, man.
But it wasn't these astronauts' fault.
No,
they went up there with a reliable company manning that Boeing.
Reliable.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to a friend of mine a couple years back. And we're talking about the growing wave of incompetence. The growing wave of incompetence.
Oh, yeah.
It permeates everything, and at least in America. When you go to fast food, like everything's more likely to screw up now.
Oh, yeah. There is not an ice cream machine in a McDonald's anywhere that works.
And he was talking to me, and he was like, "Are you worried that this wave of incompetence is going to seep into like more important areas, like the medical field, like airlines, like military, and like is this incompetence going to hit the important stuff?"
Oh, it already has.
And I said, "Hey, 12 viewers, thanks for tuning in, guys. Leave us some likes, some comments. We'll engage with you." But yeah, and I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. And here's why. Because when you get into the important realms, like airplanes, military, hospitals, people with money actively use these services. Rich people go to the hospital, rich people fly. And the lawsuits that you are potentially exposed to from people who have the money to actually sue you for not doing your job properly is massive. And so my argument was these companies are going to make sure they're competent. They're going to make sure that the planes are working, that the spaceships are working, that the medical equipment is up to grade and they're doing their best. I'm like, these are industries that aren't going to screw up. And boy, was I wrong.
I was about to fucking say.
When you look at the past year or two, no, it made it to these industries. Now, hell, if you get on a plane today and the door doesn't fly off mid-flight, that's luck there. You're on the...
Man, I fucking love seeing those pictures of like the guys that are loading up the things. They're like, oh, there's a crack in the window. They come over with some duct tape, just it'll be fine. It's just air pressure and 50,000 feet, whatever.
So unfortunately, the incompetence did permeate all industry.
Yeah, and I hate to be that guy, but I'm actually an example of that.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, people, I actually for our viewers that are a little bit short-term rather than long-term ones, I used to work on jets.
Yeah, and this is true story, not fabricated. He actually used to work on jets.
Yep. And I also worked in the medical field looking after crazy people and old people. And I can tell you this for a fact. I'm pretty fucking stupid. I am pretty fucking stupid.
And they just said, come on.
We'll give you a shot. You seem like a good kid. I was not. I was out there like smacking the engine with like a wrench. Like, am I doing it? Yeah, I got it right. That part's a fiery bit, and we don't stand in front of it. And that bit turns you into a swirly. So
America, the land of ingenuity and prosperity. A land teeming with innovation.
We've got everything from innovators to the incompetent.
To the Gooners.
Go the spoils of war. I just can't wait for the rap albums that are going to come out about this guy. Like Marilyn Manson, like he based his off of Charles Manson and Marilyn Monroe. I can't wait for somebody to be like Goon Lord Supreme.
Yep. The rapper Goon Lord.
Goon Lord. He's the guy that hires all of Batman's bad guys.
But yeah, man, it's crazy times we're living in. Crazy times.
Well, which one are we on now? Are we on the YouTube or are we on the Twitch one?
We're on multi-stream, but it's the same chat.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, you don't need to read.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to read.
Yeah, my bad.
Speaking of reading, a third of 8th graders are now legally illiterate, apparently.
Well, that's comforting. And you know what's even better is that we're coming out with a quademic so we can make sure all the 6th graders are fucked too.
Well, we won't need a brain in the future, right? Because ChatGPT will act as the de facto brain.
Oh my god, this is the advent of Google. I feel like we all collectively got smarter and dumber when Google came out.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, you had to go to a library, Rolodex, montage.
So speaking of AI, I think this story happened after our last episode, but there's been a huge uproar in the American markets because there's another AI model, DeepSea, that is a AI model that China has put out. And it's, at least on paper, matched, if not beaten, the top performing AI models in America, like OpenAI and Claude and Grok. That's Elon's.
That is a terrible fucking name. I am not.
That's Elon's.
I don't want to Gronk out,
but
when I need like medical information.
And so all these are closed source AI bots, and the one that China put out was open source. And so what that means is anyone could use it for free, and they can also. But anywho, not only did it match, if not beat, in certain areas, it also is running on like 1/10 of the energy cost. So it's cheaper to run, it's open source, so no one can profit off of it, and it's matching, if not beating, the American models.
It feels like AI now is kind of like opening a fucking library.
Yeah.
Like we can't help that they just have better funding.
You can't. And so the markets opened this week, I want to say on Monday, to I think the biggest not percent drop, but the biggest like sheer financial number drop of like American history. Nvidia lost $600 billion of value in a single day. Yeah. And you know, people are like, get in Nvidia, and I'm like, no, wait, it's got further to go down, and then this happens.
Let them cook.
But so yeah, American markets were in like shambles that at the opportunity or the chance that China is gonna be surpassing us in AI, which it wouldn't surprise me. And now here's where it really kicks off in my mind.
This is the part where it gets juicy.
Yeah. Okay. You got to keep in mind the team that makes this other, like OpenAI has a huge team, like thousands of employees. DeepSea is a crew of like 200 dudes. Like just 200 dudes. And the guy who's like the lead of DeepSea, after the whole uproar, posted a selfie of him smoking a cigarette that said "Game On."
Okay. I mean that.
And the one thing China has never had over the US is cool points or aura, and this guy just threw it down.
Oh, I thought they had aura. Fucking, I just want to see China's meme team.
Yeah. Is now a good time to buy Nvidia? It's probably not a bad time. I personally would say give it a month or two. I think the markets have lower to go. I think we've got a couple months of down. I think the bounce that they've gotten back up this week, I think that's just a fake bounce. I think we're going a little bit lower. And you got to keep in mind, I bought into Nvidia in 2021. And if you want to look at the chart, I've done quite well from that. So I'm just saying I would wait a little bit longer.
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
Not a bad buy, but I wouldn't say now's the perfect time.
You gotta text me that day when it happens, because like your gut feeling, I've never seen you lose money on a stonk before.
I've had a lot of luck with it, like, because I honestly couldn't even tell you why I've had so many successful trades.
Dude, I can't even look at a stock without it like collapsing.
Yeah, you could buy a share of Apple today. It'd probably bankrupt the company tomorrow.
Well, see, that's what happened with Blockbuster, Redbox, Toys R Us, Dogecoin.
Yeah. What was that other one you really put money in? I'm trying to think.
Oh, I got a little bit of Best Buy still.
Yeah. Oh, it was Radio Shack. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You put like 80% of your net worth in Radio Shack.
I thought, radios were gonna outlast, but being the target to Walmart, it doesn't work.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're seem to be flirting with 12 viewers consistently tonight. It's nice to see.
It's so good to see.
If you just tuned in, hey, goon us up, Get on the goon train.
Goon.
Today's a good day to goon hard.
Or die trying.
Yep, or die trying.
Or die afterwards, apparently. Fucking.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is going to be like the new trend, though. Like people are going to like run outside with no pants on, try and jerk off in front of the police.
Yeah. Let's hope not. It's chaotic enough out there.
Oh yeah, and I mean we got the new pandemic coming out, Electric Boogaloo Part 2.
Yeah. So speaking of gooning hard, Colombia tried to refuse a flight that contained some illegal immigrants going back to their, back to their country. Did you hear about this?
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. So the illegals were already in Colombia?
No.
Okay.
We deported some illegals, and we're sending them to Colombia, and they refused the flight. So, like, it's a flight of illegals coming back to their country. Colombia said, don't let them land. And Trump responded with, okay, Colombia is immediately going to be hit with 25% tariffs on all goods and trade.
Where are we going to get our fine cigars and
coffee and cocaine?
Now that one's actually going to hurt the market a little bit.
But they ended up conceding. Okay, now I love a good investment. I love it. You got me smiling seeing this.
What you got? Be my eyes.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Says they bought into Nvidia at $5.17 a share in 2020, and it's projected to go to 170. You already have an immense return. I'm very happy to hear that. I bought in Nvidia, and it was before they did the stock split, so I'm sure you know that totals used to be higher. But since the stock split, I would have bought in the $20 range. So they've done even better than me. Congratulations. The reason I bought into Nvidia, I'm like, everything I've ever owned since I was a kid was powered by like Nvidia graphics. Like it's all Nvidia graphics, and I'm like, the company's hardly worth anything. Of course it's gonna explode. Like, if you're playing a game, I mean, 9 times out of 10, Nvidia is like
in there.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're in that shit.
And see, the problem with me is like, I feel like if I were to try and invest into something like that, I'd end up, instead of getting like DVDs, I'd end up getting Laserdisc.
You decide to invest in, like the Backwoods Company, the Swisher Sweet Company.
And then Columbia's like, you know what? We're going to sell all of our shit at 99% off. It's like, oh, fuck.
But Colombia ended up conceding and taking their guys, and, we're not going to do the tariffs, yada, yada. But the thing that stands out to me the most that I wanted to talk about with that is very few people, I think in at least modern America, ever think about leverage positions.
You have all the nukes. You have nothing but leverage.
That's what I'm saying. When you're in the power position, you can literally go dick out, and people just kind of have to take it.
Yeah, I mean, just ask Japan and about our boats. They thought they were in the power position, but Eisenhower, he turned that around.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to play nice until
You don't.
Until you're in the power position.
Well, see, what I'm kind of concerned about though is like what Trump's been making some big money moves.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting for him to try and do something ballsy, like come up to Mexico and be like, "All right, guys, how much?" I mean, come on. There won't be any more illegal immigrants. Think about it. We're not sending anyone back to you.
Yeah.
You guys get better health care. I mean, we can make something work.
So a lot of Trump's panel, our cabinet that he's wanted to put on in his cabinet, has been going through the motions, and I'm not entirely sure how this works, but for instance, the Secretary of Defense had to like sit before Congress, get berated by questions, and then they had to like vote on him being in the position. And Trump's team, another one's Robert Kennedy Jr., and that's the guy who's going to be like the Secretary of Health, I want to say, and he's trying to make America healthy again. He's
going to give everybody a helmet so that thing doesn't happen again.
And yeah. And he's the kind of the more natural type dude. Like, it's rare to see somebody in health in the modern like government who's talking about food dyes, who's talking about like heavy metals in our food, and like the actual shit that's killing us.
Yeah, which actually I've got an interesting thing about food dye in a minute.
And so he's wanting to do better with that stuff and yada yada. And there's such a sheer amount of hate for Robert Kennedy getting the position, which I don't understand.
I feel like people are treating it like a kingship, like, oh well, of course he got the position. His uncle, his grandpa, right?
Yeah.
His grandpa was in the government, so of course he got some fucking place.
But they're just laying into him in this hearing, and I'm like, the people who are going, Robert F. Kennedy is going to screw up American health. American health is the one area where I literally go, how much worse can it get? How much worse can the health in America get?
Well, the good news is,
I mean, if they start feeding us sawdust and metal shavings off the factory floors, okay, I guess it could get a little worse.
Well, I mean, there's already... Do you know what the legal limit of human DNA that's allowed to be in hot dogs?
Probably a little bit, because workers are falling in the fucking pit every now and then.
Probably more than that, because it's 40 fucking %. Over half your hot dog could be Steve. I want to know who came up with that number. Like, okay, now if we hit 41%, guys, come on.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting at the meeting and with the government, lobbied government, and they're like, okay, guys, 40% sounds like a lot. Can you make it just 10% of the hot dogs be human? And then the executive at Hot Dogs R Us says, look, we could, but if we do that, we won't be able to sell the hot dogs at a fair price. I mean, the overhead that's going to come from not letting people fall into the hot dog vat.
We're going to need more pigs. Like, we could spend the money on a guardrail, or we could just not.
Yeah.
So how much till we get to 40? How much? How much more?
Yeah, I don't know how true that stat is. It sounds insane to me, but I mean, Furman's quoting it. I'm gonna believe it. I know with other things like raisins, and it can be like 5% beetle and things like that. Like,
yeah, which again, I want to be on the board for these percentiles. Like, how about, and guys, hear me out. How about we don't have any mice in our fucking meat? How about no bugs? I mean, I'm crazy, right?
Crazy, literal insanity.
Would you rather eat something that's like 10% rat or 50% artificial?
Yeah. And then another thing is the heavy metals in the food. And people are like, and this one I'm a little more sympathetic towards the companies. Not very, because they should have multi-layers of filtration and checking, systems. But why there's heavy metals in the food? Because the machinery is breaking into the food. Like, that's what's happening. The micro dust of the gears and all the plastic, it's breaking.
All that plastic.
That's why it's in there, right? You
Man.
run a machine long enough, it's going to start disintegrating.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
if food is going through it,
it just is what it is.
by proxy, you're going to have some metals in your food.
Yeah, it's like running vegetable oil through a car. Eventually,
But I make the argument when Steve falls into the line, you shut it down for a day and you restart.
Yeah, just hose it down at least.
But they say no. That would be too.
Look, I'm pretty sure the executives like there's already pork anus and lips and tongue and brain in these. So like, what's the problem? If anything, we've upgraded the meat.
I'll tell you one thing that makes me sad, like genuinely sad, is so I've got a weird relationship with dark humor and sadism because I do enjoy the pain of others, but I also hate nihilism. I hate nihilism.
It's schadenfreude is what you enjoy.
And one of the things that really makes me sad is videos of people losing their lives in factories. It really saddens me because it's like these are people making just enough to get by, and then they literally lose their life without, like, on the job.
Yeah, without like actually enjoy. If it's a job like strippers and tacos and someone dies in there, at least you know they died happy.
And the first thought the people at the tops of these companies have is, wow, how do we mitigate liability? That is the first thought. When you hear Steve fell in the hot dog machine and you're an exec, the first thing you think isn't, man, what about Steve and his family and his kids? He was a good man. That's the first thought you have is, well, how do we make sure we don't get sued?
Like, is legal still working on that sexual harassment lawsuit? Let's put that one on the back burner.
And it's nasty. It's just nasty. And I get jobs have to be done, and that's the way of the world. But dying in a factory is one of the bleakest realities, I think.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that'll make you like read some Dostoevsky or some shit like that.
It's so dark. And so yeah, not sure where I'm going with that. Just a rant.
I just think
I don't like it.
I mean, I don't like it, but I think it's funny to like imagine again. We're back at the pig factory making hot dogs. Steve falls in. The first thing they do, instead of like trying to cover for HR and all that, what they do is they send them a free package of hot dogs.
Not to get too morbid. This is morbid.
This is fucking so
There's a
dark.
story you guys can look up from a couple years back where there was a kid who his first job and on his first day died in the factory.
Jesus.
And he like got pressed, like he fell into a press in some American factory on his first day.
God, making hubcaps and then you fall into that shit.
Yeah.
Man,
So I hope that one day we can actually have the safety, that this doesn't happen because it's dark out there.
Oh, it's seriously dark. Like some of these jobs that I've seen dudes do, like running bulldozers into fires and shit so they can heat metal and all that. Like, you figure that's like happening in a third world country because of how fucking nanners it looks.
Yeah.
But no, it's here. It's here in the U.S.
So,
there's like somebody just mixing up like battery acid, but it's with like a wood fork, so they have to keep leaning in and shit.
So we actually used to have an employee that worked for us who used to do government contracting when the pipeline was being put in. And they said that while they were on the job, I mean, they were getting very well paid because government contracts pay out the ass because the government doesn't know what anything costs. So they're like, oh, $1 million to fix the toilet, send it.
Yeah, dude. I got a story for you then after this.
But she was on the pipeline job, and she said her supervisor, the guy who was managing it, at some point a power line fell and the wire hit this man, and he like literally like, fried in real time on the job site.
Yeah, like 10,000 volts to your brain will do that.
And they had to finish that shift out that day. Like they just finished the shift out.
I could just imagine in the break room, just everybody sitting there with like a blanket and some cocoa. He comes in. All right, guys, I know this is very sad, but You're still on the clock.
Well, that's got to be the manager above your supervisor, because your supervisor is the one who got fried.
Oh my god, he comes out, he like pulls out of a van, takes off his sunglasses. Why is everybody stopped? His body's right fucking there. Just like kick some dirt over it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Very, very dark.
But speaking of government spending, like, okay, so back in the day when we were racing the Russians to get to space, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
before we filmed it.
Oh yeah, before we filmed it. Okay.
It's actually filmed over on the other side of the ice wall.
Oh yeah,
where we're at.
I
we
mean,
got to watch that shit happen in real time.
Great studio. Honestly, some of Stanley Kubrick's best work, honestly. But so America was worried about, you know, Buzz Aldrin being able to like write and shit, but you can't really write in zero gravity using a pen.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
they invented that pen.
Yeah, you know how much it cost?
Like for the pen, or like the research and development?
The research and development into it.
Oh, I'd love to know.
$1 million.
Back then, that was a lot of money.
That was like retired till the end of time money back in the day. But like
today, you can't research how to fold a napkin 3 times without spending at least a couple million.
Yeah, I mean like $1 trillion if you really want to get the science perfect.
Yeah.
But you know what Russia did?
What did they do?
They fucking just used a pencil. They were like, but we could spend $1 trillion rubles on this, or hey, wait a minute. Oh, fuck it.
People are obsessed with the next big thing. The next big thing. Like, oh, you know, now my office chair can literally, I can take the armrest off and use it as a magic wand. I can literally orgasm with my office chair arm. I just take it off, vibrate, go, boom, straight to work.
Oh fucking god!
That's the kind of shit we make today.
Yeah, and I mean, like, what's funnier is like back in the day, if you wanted to like change the channel, you only had to have the remote. No big deal. Yeah. Now your remote, you can turn off your lights, turn on your couch, turn on your fish tank, turn on your TV, turn on your microwave, turn on your girlfriend. Yeah. You can fucking do anything with them nowadays. I got a friend of mine who's got a smart toilet seat. He has it pre-cook his seat before he sits down. He's got an app on his phone that controls the bidet. Every time that his wife goes to sit down, he just blasts her from his couch.
And that's just a recipe for like entitlement. Your wife's like, wives used to be like, "Oh, you're not gonna put the seat down," and now they're like, "You didn't warm the seat before I sat on it."
You asshole! You left the vibration function on there, so I actually had to shake my ass cheeks like a fucking Neanderthal.
But speaking of fucking wasting money on dumb shit, most all good things, I think, have already been made, and most all the pleasures you can get on the low. Most all good pleasures are cheap. Like, for me, 50% of my life enjoyment, genuinely, can be comprised of a decent cup of coffee in the morning. So, like, I know I can go to prison today, get a good cup of coffee, you know, decent cup of coffee in my prison cell, and I'm going to be pretty happy to wake up and have some coffee.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Like, liquor's very cheap, so I'm on the same wavelength, man.
The simple pleasures.
All I need is a morning pick-me-up.
The simple pleasures, you know?
Call back to episode 1 on that one, guys.
some good smoke, good coffee.
A lot less butt sex,
you
know.
Good times.
See, and that's one of the things that I kind of hate about like some of these reality TV shows that came out in the early aughts. They always made prison look a lot less heinous than it actually is. Yeah. Like fucking, they're always in there with like a full camera crew, and they have them like, oh no, they don't know that we're here, but they're like talking directly to the camera, like, hey, yeah, you know, we're making honey buns and marshmallow cream pies.
Speaking of innovation and simple pleasures, the one simple pleasure that we really don't do well with keeping, and we haven't done a good job of like inventing our way out of it, is novelty. Novelty is a great pleasure, especially as a kid. So many things are novel.
Yeah, like X-ray specs and shit like
they
that.
They feel unique.
Yeah, like,
and yeah.
When you were a kid, did you ever see like the spy gear that they had as a kid?
Yeah. Even though that shit didn't do nothing, like it worked like shit, you still felt like a badass using it.
You got like laser pointers on your gloves. When the fuck am I ever gonna need to shoot lasers out of them?
Yeah. And now it's like novelty's kind of gone away, and we're not inventing things cool enough at a rate that novelty comes back. Like all novelty today feels like fucking Temu products or Sheen. Like, yeah.
And what's worse is like with the advent of the internet, like you can fake half the Temu videos that you see. So it's like, grow a tiny bonsai tree that's got 4 different flavors on it.
Chia. Now that was a novelty item. You mean I can get a vase that's somebody's face and it grows a plant?
Oh my god, I can have Bob Ross in my house.
I can have Obama with a green afro.
What?
Chia.
Fucking.
You remember those commercials?
Oh, dude, I love those commercials. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't invent things like that anymore.
Oh, here's one for you. And like, even commercial wise, like I can't remember any commercial over the last maybe 5-6 years, but I will tell you right now, 877 cash now.
877 cash now. J.G. Wentworth.
Dude, he only needed the number. Like, that was how fucking catchy that shit was back in the fucking day.
Speaking of hype mans, like TV marketers, this guy's a bit more niche because he wasn't around as long. But I consider this guy to be the king of TV marketing. He was so good that I will watch his stuff just for entertainment. And I'm not talking about Billy Mays. Now, Billy Mays was good.
Oh, dude, I fucking love me some Billy Mays.
Billy Mays was good. But my favorite TV salesman of all time is the ShamWow guy.
You know, he got arrested for punching a hooker, right?
And biting his or her tongue off. I think he bit his own tongue off and spit it at the hooker. Because he was coked up. Oh,
I was about to say that was a really bad makeout session.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, if you got a bite,
and he's in prison now, but he's gonna get out because he only got like 15 years or something.
Oh, only.
Imagine he goes right back. He somehow still lands a gig, but he's on like streaming now. He's on like Hulu and shit.
Oh, doing Temu ads. Come on in, guys. Come on in. I'm gonna show you this product. Now, this will help you get blood out of your carpet. Don't ask me how I know. Don't ask. But you know what?
But his cadence and his tempo and his energy, it was intoxicating. And ShamWow was good. That was, his magnum opus to most. But for me, I could watch this infomercial all day. It was the fucking slap chop. The ShamWow guy and the slap chop.
Come check this out.
And that's where he coined the line, "You're gonna love my nuts."
Fucking get out.
Yeah, no, he says that in the commercial. But he's slap chopping everything. He's like, onions, don't want to cut them? Boom, throw it in the slap chop, slap them. Nuts, pistachios, cashews, throw them in, boom, boom. You've got a nice, throw it on some ice cream. And he's like, "You're going to love my nuts. I guarantee it."
God.
And it was so good.
See, he's got to be right up there. Like on my list, it goes Billy Mays. He's a god. He will always be.
And 2 things you guys got to know, and this will tell you something about marketing. Billy Mays died of a cocaine overdose.
Well, he mixed it up with his OxyClean.
Considered the greatest of all time. And the second greatest, ShamWow guy, went to jail for biting a tongue off while on cocaine. What's the common denominator for being a good marketer?
Being on TV. That's what it is. That means, oh my God.
They're sniffing right before they do the shoot. I guarantee it.
Oh, dude, I believe it because that Flex Seal guy, I saw this boat in half. You did.
So,
wow.
The Flex Seal guy, he took it a step further. He actually made a boat out of the Flex Seal on its own. Yeah, he went to that level. It's no longer taking the boat in half. He made a boat out of Flex Seal.
He's just practicing for when he goes to like Rikers Island.
Dude, I saw the numbers on Flex Seal. That is one of the most profitable companies in America.
That's right up there with Scrub Daddies.
Yeah. And that fucking pillow from that one dude.
Oh, dude.
My Pillow.
I guarantee you he was on coke when he made that.
Well, he was. The My Pillow guy is an ex-coke addict. He talks about it. Yeah.
Well, I was laying there one night just trying to get comfortable.
Dude, if you don't, I'm not kidding. You look up the story. He founded My Pillow after a night of like on a cocaine bender. He founded it like a day after, literally running through the last of his supply of cocaine. Dirt poor, no money.
I've got to find a way to make a
nosebleeds.
Wait a minute.
And he founded My Pillow.
You know, the bankers that's watching that are just sitting there like, I thought he looked a little off that day. I could just imagine him in there just like he's still got a little on his nose. He's just, all right, so yeah, what I need like $500,000 to make some fucking pillows, man. He's like,
and dude, I was looking up because the numbers are good, very profitable, but employee counts always kind of stun me on how many employees some companies have. My Pillow was another company that had thousands of employees. It was, I want to say like 3,000 or 4,000 employees. And I'm like, 3,000 or 4,000 employees? How many fucking pillows are you making? There's no way. No way.
He's making an ass ton of pillows.
Yeah.
Which I'm just, but you know what, that kind of does bother me because I feel like that's false advertising. I mean, those pillows are made by them, not by him.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I feel like that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Get on
their pillow, our pillow, the new brand,
America Pillow, 50% more patriotic. And then you just hear an eagle in the background. Look.
Yeah, but and part of the reason the consumer gets so screwed is because a lot of successful companies are really good with margins and marketing. They're not good with efficiency. Like China's good with efficiency, but my point is, I've got experience of running a company as lean as possible, like as lean as humanly possible. Like you might literally become an anorexic working at companies I've partook in.
Yeah, you're like that close to like having pee bottles like Amazon. I feel like if you push just a little more.
And because the margins are thin and what have you. But a lot of these companies are like, we're not going to focus on being efficient. We're going to market the shit out of this product. We are going to market it down your throat. Then we're going to upcharge it 15 times what it costs to make. And then we can just hire as many people as we want.
And then
who cares?
Safety precautions? Fuck that marketing.
Just hire 2,000 employees, and hey, the margins are 20%. I mean, 20 times the percent it costs to make. Who cares?
Yeah, and I mean, you never have to give them a pay raise because you put in a ping pong table like that,
and they don't have to work hard because there's 10 people to do one job.
You got half your staff just taking smoke breaks all fucking day, the other half actually making the company run.
Yep.
But like
truly,
that does kind of like remind me of, though, like that's why we need people that innovate, because like with Steve Jobs, like I don't have any love for Steve Jobs. Like I just don't know enough about him. I think that he's, smart guy.
Yeah. But
like one of my favorite stories out of him was, his whole crew came together. They made the iPod, and they were, man, we did it. We converted it all into digital, and now people can take this wherever they go. Fuck the Zune, man. Steve Jobs goes, this looks a little clunky. I need you to make it smaller.
Yeah.
We basically made the first fucking cell phone. We can't make it any smaller.
Yeah.
And he just takes it over to a fish tank, just drops it in, sees the bubbles come out. He's like, see that? That means that there's air in there, which means you can make it smaller.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if I was on that engineering team, I would be up in his fucking grill.
Yeah. Part of all good leaders, I think, ask too much of people, and that's like part of the process.
Oh, it's got to be.
Like Elon talked about a lot of flack that Elon gets is he misses his deadlines. Like he'll set a deadline for a car and it doesn't come out when he says it does, and yada yada. And we talked about this before, I think, but he'll estimate how long it takes. He thinks it would take to pull something off, and he will make the deadline like a full third shorter than that he gives to the crew. So he's like, I think this will take a year to make. Realistically, you guys got 8 months, but he won't tell them. He thinks it would take a year.
But that's so that way he can come in like an avenging angel. Just, you have 4 more months. Everybody is on there like, oh, thank fucking Christ. Oh shit!
Or they pull it off, right? Or they pull it off because, yeah, people are like a pressure. It's like a pressure cooker situation. Magic can happen with a group of people when you put them in an impossible situation.
That's how we end up with like crazy inventions, man.
Yeah. So there is an art to it.
And I feel like he's almost perfected it, but his shit is just.
He's not. Yeah. Jobs was a master of product.
That guy fucking killed.
I mean, he killed so hard that a company literally remained $1 billion company just making the same invention he designed, or
his team designed
over and over and over and over. Like
that is magic right there. Like,
innovation at Apple has gone away.
Oh yeah. I mean, until like the last time that they tried to make like a big tech leap here in America, like besides AI,
Yeah.
Google Glass.
Man, I was looking forward to Google Glass. Never came through though.
I was looking forward to it too, and then I realized like how much of a dork that would make me. Do I look like somebody that wants to look ridiculous in public?
Yeah. There was social concerns with Google Glass because one of the things that people were talking about using it for, and I could see this, is if you like jailbroke it and like applied a facial recognition software, you could, let's say, walk up to a stranger, pull them up on one of their social platforms, get their likes and interests, and then like bump into them
just casually,
and then start up a conversation, and you're able to like target who they are, and like you could manipulate somebody quite easily.
Not just that, you got to imagine like all the people that be using it for the wrong reason. Like that guy would have never made it to the coffee shop earlier. Yeah. He would have just stayed on a park bench just jerking it in front of everybody.
But I don't think Google Glass didn't make it because they failed per se. I think society wasn't ready for it. Guaranteed we're going to get a Google Glass type device soon in the next few years. We'll have like
undoubtedly.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Google Pixel and shit like that, like the flip phone coming back. Like we're
Blockbuster's coming back too this year.
We have Blockbuster. It's called Netflix. Which, by the way, Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix.
Yeah.
And didn't. Could you imagine being in that boardroom meeting? Like, this is never going to take off. People want to go to and get their DVDs. This is stupid.
Yeah, well, it's like another, when you talk about the worst trade deals in the history of trade deals, there was Yahoo and Google. Yahoo used to be king. Google was the rising king. They surpassed Yahoo. Google offered to buy Yahoo for an exorbitant amount of money, like, billions, tens of billions. Yahoo turned them down. A few years later, they made another offer, smaller, because Yahoo had declined.
Yeah.
Turned them down. And then, like, fast forward a few more years, and literally Google offered to buy them for pennies of, like, the original offer, and Yahoo conceded. Like,
damn.
They had lost all their leverage.
Well, I'm wondering when that's going to happen to Bing. Because, like,
Bing is on its way out.
Because, like, I remember when they first came out, everybody was like, oh my God, Google, there's a Dr. Pepper to your Coca-Cola. They're going to get you. No, this is Mountain Thunder.
Diet. Yeah. Diet Mountain Thunder.
Dude, this isn't even Dr. Pepper. This is, like, nursing assistant fucking Cayenne.
Bing. Bing.
I've never heard about anybody being like, oh man, this breaking story just came out on Bing.
I will say I've mostly stopped using search engines now, though. I think there'll be a fading market. I mainly use AI chatbots for every question now.
Yeah,
mainly
because they can access everything and you can do it through your voice. Like it's
the one, but the one hang up with ChatGPT and other AI bots. I don't know if you guys experience this, but there's times where you'll ask it a yes or no like question, and it'll tell you yeah, even though it's not true. So like I'll play like video games sometimes, and I'll be like, well, can you unlock this on this level, or how do you do this? And it'll tell you, and it turns out it's fake. Like you can't do that at all.
Yeah, that's because AI isn't smart enough to differentiate between fact and fiction.
Like, hey, can I respec my stats in this game? Yeah, here's what you do. You go to this vendor in the game, you know, when you're like a third of the way in and you can talk to them and you can respec your whole stat sheet. And then when you actually try it and you're like, hey, this isn't working. And then you Google it, you're like, oh, it's not even a thing.
Oh, yeah, no, get fucked.
So, like, it'll just spit out things are possible that literally aren't.
Well, it's kind of like using Google. Like, you can go on to Google and do like a symptom search. Like, hey, I've got a tickle in my throat.
Yeah.
And the first one that always pops up immediately, without fail, cancer.
And that's what they both have their pros and cons. The AI bots are a lot more
expedient.
Yeah, but they're a lot more civil when it comes to health scares. Like, if you Google your symptoms in like ChatGPT, it'll literally say like the light things that this might be. And then when it gets to like the more extreme stuff, it's like, it's very unlikely, you know, statistically, it's probably not these. But Google, it's like the worst shit imaginable is the only result.
Oh, I've got polio. Oh, shit. I mean,
that fucked me up as a teenager. Google symptoms probably took years of my life due to stress.
Like, oh my God, dude, don't ever look up for like a pimple on your nutsack, because like immediately it's like you've got gonosyphilis. You're gonna die in 3 days.
Your side's hurting. You Google it. Oh, kidney failure. Yep, every time kidney failure. And if it's not kidney failure, it's early stage kidney failure. And guess what? It's it's irreversible.
Hey, I've got a bruise on my foot. Well, you might want to cut it off. Just get done with it. It sounds like your foot has super herpes.
Yeah.
Fucking.
So Google. That was a. They harmed the world with that.
I swear that and Dr. MD like online. I can't fucking stand those.
Why is every result the fucking apocalypse? Like,
well, I mean, to be fair, like every time that we have a cough in this country, it's.
I think it's because a lot of our aches and pains are genuinely random, and I'm sure there's some underlying cause, but they're just like our body just operating and something kinks.
Yeah, I mean, but like we're also,
and we want to explain everything as humans. So like we just, there's a condition out there that this might happen.
I feel bad when other people feel bad. I'm an empath.
Yeah, well, no, you actually have stage 3 brain cancer.
Oh my God.
Because you probably have a tumor in the part of the brain that like triggers empathy, and it's gotten a little big.
See, that's what I hate about like movies and comics. Whenever somebody gets like irradiated or like doused in chemicals, it's always something fucking magical. Whenever it's in real life, they turn into a puddle.
Yeah. So chat, we're getting ready to wrap up for the night. Give us some final topics. One or two final topics to go out on. If you're still viewing, if you're in,
if you're bored,
Gucci to Goonicide. Give us a topic for the night.
I mean, we had a pretty good spread tonight. I mean,
good spread, good flow.
Yeah.
Gucci to Goonicide.
Fucking, it was all Gucci till he started gooning.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that he jerked it all the way to heaven?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think as he was peeling out of the parking lot, he was still wanking. One hand on the wheel, burning rubber, gooning all the way home.
Oh my God. I can't imagine the next Christmas album.
What's that song, One Last Ride?
Oh my God.
It's been a long day
without you, my friend. Oh my God. Could you imagine if he wouldn't have done that? If he would have came back for seconds and she's like, oh, weird dick guy. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Lord Curve is back. Now, I've got a question. What did this guy look like?
Yeah.
Because I've got a theory that if you pull this as like a supermodel, there would have never been a story about this. But if he's like...
He looks pretty standard, but he also looks like quite happy. This is the happy face he was making before they realized what was going on.
Oh, buddy. The pants are down. Oh, buddy. Oh.
Notice where the hand is?
Yeah, I can't. It's... Oh, God. The hand placement's just... I mean, he could be grabbing for his keys, but realistically, he's... My question is, if he's got a wife and kids, how did she not notice?
This is the face he was making after they told him they were recording and he had to leave.
Oh God, that looks like somebody that just got told their girlfriend cheated on him. What?
Brody literally pulled up like this, just the happiest guy in the world.
Well, yeah, because he's still going. He's like, yeah, hey, how's it going? Hey. See, I don't know why, but I was picturing like some really old 70-year-old dude with like an eye patch or some shit.
Middle-aged, clean cut,
Man,
clean looking dude.
that's just brutal.
And trying to enjoy a nice, Sunday evening.
He was trying to add a little cream to his coffee. They didn't give him enough.
Yeah.
Could you? I can't fucking. I'm just glad that he didn't try and pull this shit at like a Starbucks.
Oh, thank God.
I just saw that mermaid in the logo, and I just couldn't help myself.
Yeah, it was crazy times, man. So I ain't seeing no suggestions in the chat, so we must curate our own final topic. What do you got, Furman?
Universe bestow knowledge onto me.
Bestow. It must come to you.
Okay. Let's say for the sake of no. All right. For the sake of argument, let's say that reincarnation's real.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back as an animal or a human?
So I've got a kind of very nuanced belief system. Because I do believe in Christianity. I also believe in reincarnation, and I could explain that out. But so I would say I'm answering this as someone who does believe in reincarnation.
Okay.
And I'd definitely rather come back as a human.
I'd rather come back as an animal. If I get to pick the animal,
Well,
I'd rather
yeah.
come back as an animal.
I mean, no, even still, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Okay, if I get to pick the animal and I can pick the life, like if I get to pick a pet, like I get to be a cat, a well taken care of cat.
Like one of those ones that get like the big tuna chunks and shit.
I'd probably pick it because you literally are born with like a blanket, a nice furry blanket. Your body's flexible, so you're in permanent cozy mode.
Man,
You're flexible, you're fast. You get to be a dick, and people just have to accept it.
dude, I would come back as a cow in India. And just stand in the road all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Or like
That ain't bad.
one of those giant bats out in fucking South America.
That
Like
ain't bad.
Like a fruit bat.
Yeah.
Not in China though. I don't want to mess with those odds.
But a well taken care of cat sounds like a good life.
That are those ones where it's like the dog people that they're like feeding them like beef kidneys and shit like that.
12 viewers, thanks for tuning in.
Hey, we're talking about reincarnation, crew.
And being a pussy.
Yeah. So,
But a well taken care of one.
one that's trimmed up, it's just waxed to completion. So, quick question, chat. Would you want to come back as an animal if you get to pick the animal, or would you rather stay human? You don't get to keep all your knowledge that you had beforehand. So,
Yeah.
you're starting fresh.
But you get to pick.
So, you get to grow up in the next generation.
Yeah. And with evolution, hell, you might be the next breed.
Yeah, end up with a pinky right in the middle of your chest. Because I feel like we're gonna develop something fucking stupid.
100%.
Like, have you seen the picture of the perfect evolutionized human to survive a car crash?
Yeah.
Dude, he looks like a potato and a butter stick fucked.
Yeah. The real evolution has nothing to do with survival. Sounds counterproductive. But it has everything to do with sex appeal. That's why the human who can survive a car crash
dies.
Will
alone.
never be. Because
Yeah.
no one's reproducing with that.
I don't know. There might be a market for people's faces that are like this. Fucking. He looks like
he can star as Juggernaut in like the new Deadpool casting.
Or like it would be a discount Deadpool movie. This is one that you find on YouTube for somebody's like film theory video. It's fucking.
Yeah, evolution.
Dude, it looks like his first words were, why?
There comes a point where, this is an interesting topic, and I guess maybe we can go out on this. With animals, it does start with survival.
Mm-hmm.
The better surviving body is what's animals will evolve into.
Yeah.
But humans have hit a point where we will literally... Our evolution is shortening our lifespans just due to sex appeal. And an example of that would be twofold. I'd say primarily with men, which is one, dicks used to be a lot smaller. That's noted. Like they used to be way smaller on average.
Yeah, because you don't want to have it chopped off during like battle
combat.
and shit. Yeah,
and from a combat perspective, it doesn't make sense to have a shower. It just doesn't.
Yeah, because like that's just more area to hit.
And so as our dicks got bigger, that's actually anti-survival, and they only got bigger because sex appeal.
Yeah,
it was more pleasurable. And another thing is taller people on average live shorter lives because our organs aren't necessarily designed for all that circulation. So like the average NBA player lifespan is like 10 to 12 years shorter than your average person. Even being wealthy and successful and having healthcare, they tend to have shorter lives, and that's because they're fucking giants. But all men are getting taller on average because
sex appeal.
And then, women, we've got the skinny standard, which almost, it gets to a point where it's so skinny it enters into, frailty and health conditions. And so we're like sex appealing ourselves
to death.
To death.
Dude, are you kidding? If I read another story about a BBL that explodes on a plane.
Yeah. We're dying to be sexy.
Oh, dude. Like,
literally.
Oh, my God, dude. I can't. The shit that I hear, like, people are like, yeah, you know what? I broke my legs in 4 different places, but I'm almost a half an inch taller.
Yeah.
Now.
They're getting surgery to be taller. We're dying to be sexy. We've hit a point as an animal where we said, fuck survival. We just want to be hot. That's where we're at as humans.
I'm too sexy for my soul. Too sexy for that goal.
Dude, guaranteed, if there was a way right now, okay, if people were presented with this deal, we don't know how long you're going to live, but however long you have left, we're going to take 20 years off of it. Okay. But for that sacrifice, you're going to become the sexiest human possible.
Like just carved out of marble. People would take that in a heartbeat because like when like I don't know if you remember this, but like in the early aughts, when the Mommy Milkers Association had to go ahead and take one for the team, there were people taking off with like the implants and shit.
Yeah.
And they would explode.
Yeah.
Dude,
and sometimes it would seep and kill or like poison you.
Yeah, dude. How badly do you want big tits before you're like, wait a minute?
Yeah.
This would be like microwaving your balls to get bigger testicles. Like,
and so we said fuck evolution and survival for the sake of surviving. We just want to be hot now. We just want to fuck and die.
Seriously.
That's where we're at.
I guarantee you tomorrow, if somebody came out like that 20 years you said, same thing to men, but you get 2 extra inches. There isn't a man on this planet that'd be like, you know what? I'm good. We'd all die at 20 years from now.
Yeah. So it's a death culture. We've evolved past trying to survive.
We're too good for it.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's something that I think as a culture, everybody's kind of accepted. Like after we made AC, once we said fuck nature, it was just like, you know what?
The animals are like, fuck, I just want to live and like not get eaten. Humans are like, let us be eaten as long as we're hot.
Yeah, seriously. And dude, what's even worse is like as human beings, we've evolved to eat a certain type of food, and we'll still go out of our way to make the most bat shit, like bat and pangolin soup.
Yeah.
There are people out there that are still eating monkey brains and shit like that. Like, we're just saying FC to evolution.
Maybe the only way we jump past back into survival, into living longer, is we first solve the sexy problem. Everybody's sexy. But the concern is if everyone is sexy,
then no one is.
Maybe no one is. But my argument against that is when you look back at photos of like the 80s and 90s, when like 90% of people had normal bodies on the beach. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't like...
And everyone looks kind of hot.
Yeah.
Everyone did look kind of hot. I mean, I don't look at that and go, like, oh, now I can pick and choose even more. But maybe if I was in that time, I would.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like that's why a lot of divorce didn't happen. Because in the 1800s, everybody across the board is equally fucking ugly. Like every time that I see a picture of like a farmer and his wife, I was like, wow, standards were down here during those times.
Yep. It's true. And then they kind of dropped again. There was that sweet spot, you know, 80s and 90s.
And then like we're just, it kind of went up a little bit, and then it just like, we're steadily heading back down.
So let's be hot, guys. Let's be hot together, and then we'll live long.
Oh, yeah. Now remember, everybody, stay positive, but test negative.
And always be in the light.
Damn. These thick